Welcome to science class. Today we will do lesson 2 microorganism friend and foe part 1. So let us begin. Introduction. When we see around us we find several kinds of plants and animals. However, there are other living organisms around us which we normally cannot see. The living organisms which cannot be seen with the naked eye and can only be observed through a microscope are called microorganisms or microbes. Microorganisms may be unicellular, that is single celled, or multicellular, that is many celled. The science which deals with the study of microorganisms is called microbiology, and the scientists who study microorganisms are called microbiologists. Microorganisms are present everywhere. Some live alone while others grow in groups called colonies. They are found in air, soil, and in water bodies like seas, lakes, and ponds. They can exist in extreme conditions of temperature like droughts, in hot water springs, in deserts, polar regions, and marshy lands. They live in extreme environmental conditions by forming a hard outer covering called cyst. Now, major groups of microorganisms. Microorganisms are divided into 5 groups: bacteria, fungi, protozoa, virus, algae. Bacteria. Bacteria are very small and the simplest living organisms. They are single-celled organisms found almost everywhere. Fungi. Fungi is a group of diverse organisms that lack chlorophyll. They generally grow in dark, warm, and moist conditions. The examples are bread mold, penicillium, and aspergillus. Protozoa. Protozoan means the first animal. Protozoa are unicellular organisms. They are found in ponds, lakes, rivers, sea, and damp soil. Some of the examples are amoeba and paramecium. Viruses. The word virus means poisonous liquid. Viruses are the smallest microorganisms. They can be only studied under an electron microscope. They are different from other microorganisms in that they reproduce only inside the cells of the host organisms, which may be a bacterium, plant, or animal. Algae. Algae is a group of simple plants. They vary in size, shape, and habitat. Some are unicellular and microscopic, while others are multicellular and can be few meters long. For example, Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra. Now let us discuss useful microorganisms. Microorganisms are useful to us in many ways. First, making of food items. Bacteria help us in making certain food items like curd, cheese, bread, and pastries. Yeast cells are used in the baking industry for making breads, pastries, and cakes. Bacteria act upon tough meat and make it soft. Commercial use. Yeast is used for commercial production of alcohol, beer, wine, and acetic acid. Some bacteria are used in the production of tea, coffee, and tobacco. Some bacteria take part in the production of certain acids like lactic acid, citric acid, and acetic acid. Medicinal use. production of antibiotics and production of vaccines. So what are antibiotics? The medicines produced by living organisms such as bacteria and fungi which kill or stop the growth of the disease causing microorganisms or pathogens present in our body are called antibiotics. Examples: streptomycin, tetracycline, etc. The first antibiotic was penicillin. Precautions to be taken while using antibiotics. Antibiotics should be taken only on the advice of a qualified doctor. We must complete the entire course of antibiotics. We should not take antibiotics when not needed or in wrong doses. Antibiotics should not be taken when we are suffering from cold and flu that are caused by viruses. Now, the production of vaccines. The ability of one's body to resist a disease is known as immunity. Immunity against a particular disease can be developed by a technique called vaccination. A small dose of dead and weakened disease-causing microbes used to stimulate immune response in the body is called vaccine. Several diseases including cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox, polio can be prevented by vaccination. A vaccine can be either injected or given orally. Edward Jenner, a British doctor, discovered the vaccine for smallpox in 1798. Now, the fourth one is the increase in soil fertility. Some bacteria are able to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere to enrich the soil with nitrogen and increase its fertility. These microbes are commonly called biological nitrogen fixers. Last is the cleaning the environment. Many bacteria and fungi, they act as decomposers and they decompose the complex dead material into simple nutrients and thus help in the cleaning the environment. Now the harmful microorganism. Microorganisms are harmful in many ways. Microorganisms cause disease. Some microorganisms cause food poisoning. We will discuss them one by one. So microorganisms cause diseases. Let us take first disease, tuberculosis. This disease is caused by bacteria and the mode of transmission is through air. Second disease, measles. Causative microorganism is virus. Mode of transmission is air. Next disease, chickenpox. Causative microorganism virus. Mode of transmission is air or by contact. Polio. Causative microorganism is virus. Mode of transmission is air and water. The general preventive measures for tuberculosis, measles, chickenpox and polio are to keep the patient in complete isolation. Keep the personal belongings of the patient away from those of the others. Vaccination to be given at suitable age. Next disease is cholera. Causative agent microorganism is bacteria and it is transmitted through water and food. Typhoid. Causative agent bacteria. Mode of transmission is through water. General preventive measure. Maintain personal hygiene and good sanitary habits. Consume properly cooked food and boiled drinking water. Vaccination is required. Hepatitis A. The causative microorganism is virus and it is transmitted through water. Preventive measure against hepatitis A is that drink boiled drinking water and get vaccinated. Malaria. Causative microorganism protozoa. Mode of transmission mosquito. Preventive measure: use mosquito net and repellents, spray insecticides, and control breeding of mosquitoes by not allowing water to collect in the surroundings. Some common plant diseases caused by microorganism: citrus canker. Microorganism: bacteria. Mode of transmission: air. Rust of wheat: causative microorganism is fungi and mode of transmission is through air and by seeds. Third, yellow vein or mosaic of bhindi okra. Causative microorganism is virus and the mode of transmission is through insect. Microorganisms cause food poisoning. Microorganisms that grow on our food sometimes produce toxic substances which are harmful for our health. The toxic substances produced by microorganisms make the food poisonous, causing serious illness called food poisoning.